We are live.
We are all alive.
Woo.
Yay. Is Ray?
I don't know. I was going to go ahead and invite Ray in.
Okay.
And,
well, I think we got Alan should have.
You know, Alan and Sandra are always late.
Well,
which I don't understand because I know they're not left the house because we just had a radio show.
Well, we just talked.
It takes a while to use that Commodore 64.
Right. I mean, unless they were on the radio show from Kroger.
We told them, we said, when we hit the lottery, we're buying you a Mac.
Right.
we just know that's what we have to do.
It's just insanity. I'm going on the Vent website tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
No, tonight.
About
Did they jump on the bicycle out back to generate some electricity?
That's what they do. I know they do.
Actually, they're using the monkey on the treadmill.
Yeah, that's why
he's treadmill right now.
That's true.
He lets some of them rest, and he sends the other ones out to work the treadmill. Sick of Alan Spear, I'll tell you what.
Oh, he did us a good favor this past weekend.
He did us a major intro on the last Google Hangout. Have you guys seen it?
We need to send that to you so you can hear his intro. I think for some reason it needs to be re-uploaded, but
it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good intro for the show.
Oh,
Alan,
was that the one you talking about the intro for the show tonight?
Yes.
Yeah. Sound like God was talking to you or something?
No, he was doing some
Oh no, yeah, we were gonna do the Vine, where he was in the beginning of the last. If you didn't watch the last YouTube, where we did the switch, Alan was actually clearing his throat before the show, and we caught that part. Did you guys watch that? Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that, Trevor and Eileen?
Yeah.
That's how he keeps that radio voice so healthy.
Okay, ready. It was like, wait a minute.
I watched it that far, and then I didn't watch the rest.
Right. We're going to create a Vine where he's just doing that.
I'm putting him on a Vine network.
Yeah.
Or we could make millions.
What we do is we have the picture of Kevin Hart doing it. You know, the whole face where he's looking over. You know what I mean? Give him a face sometimes.
Well, we are joined. Sin's here, and Ray's here, and another Alan, our friend Alan Goforth is here. Did any of you listen? Actually, Alan just told me before we went on the air that he listened to the entire radio show, which is a big jump for him.
Thank you, Alan.
Hey, Frey.
Yeah.
Call her Frey.
Well, that's her name. Frey, you've had a lot of requests for people to talk to you, and I believe it's in the Twin Flame work group. I think it's even in Twin Flames and even in Relationship Reinvented. And I know you stay away from Facebook, but maybe you and Frank can create a Facebook and join the groups at least, so when they want to get a hold of you, it's easier to find you.
Oh, I had no idea somebody wanted to talk to me.
You're in demand.
Yeah, you're in demand. There's been more than 3 or 4 messages for you. I think Cairo joined. I don't know if Cairo was.
She said she was running to the store, that she would be back.
Okay.
I'm going to run to the store and then be back before the hangout. So maybe she is there and we'll let her.
Okay. But, yeah, there's been a lot of people looking for you. So we didn't, I told them that we'd get a message to you because we didn't want to give your information out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just I'll contact you out of chat to what's needed from me on that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind meeting with some people. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
And I'm going to tell you, on all of the ads and the trailers, we put 3 Twin Flame unions. There's only 2 here. If Sandra and Alan don't show up, it's false advertisement. We could be sued.
They're going to sue Alan Goforth. We're good.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. We're gonna. I'm gonna keep sending them invitations so they can come in. Hello, Cairo. How are you?
I'm alright.
Did you get it to the store and back?
Yeah, and I got this weird lime and cucumber Gatorade.
Let me turn Cairo up. I can barely hear Cairo.
Yeah, we need to turn. Eileen looked back like Sandra and Alan just walked in their door.
The light back there.
Oh, they're back in the. They're back this way.
You guys got them locked.
They're back in the. Yeah, I'm with you.
Whatever, guys.
Well, no, me and Trevor are doing our. Never mind. You won't.
Oh, I did get a new symbol.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, well, it's like this.
Yeah.
Oh, we learned a new. We learned it.
So it's
Oh,
got an A in there,
yeah,
and an L.
yeah. I see it.
Are you guys really forming gang
Well,
signs?
we got the. You know, I like that one. That one. You know, but the A. Yeah, you got a point.
There's everything wrong with
go.
this.
Yes,
Everything.
I got that. That actually does.
Ooh, very nice.
The
I
way you
like
just did it is like that.
Oh, he's there.
Oh, there he is.
He's there all the time.
All right.
Well, now we're not going to be sued.
Yes. Way to go.
L to the T. Yo, what up?
What up, Dom? What's going on, man?
Nothing. What's happening, guys?
Oh, you know, we were just talking about your Vine special. The I'm ready. Yeah, that whole thing.
We just keep
Yeah.
letting.
Yes, we do.
That's a drug reaction, so don't pay any attention, all right?
So we talked about a really deep topic tonight about who did we lose? Did we lose somebody? Did we lose Sen?
No, Sin's there. Aren't you there, Sin?
Yeah, but I'm just eating chips, so I've got my microphone turned off.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we appreciate that. Are there? Okay. She said chips.
I should have. Sin sent me an Aussie slang dictionary.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So, yeah, this is what she told us to do. She tells us to get on video and do this, right? So I'm like, okay, well, apparently it's a very offensive gesture in Australia.
And in the UK.
And the UK. Thanks, Sin. Thanks for trying to get us killed.
She set us up.
And then we wondered where all of our subscribers went to freaking UK and Australia.
So we had another client. We had a client in Australia that we were talking to. So I just happened to say, "What is this?"
Hey, we'll see you later.
I told you what that meant. Don't lie.
You know what's going to happen, right, Sherry?
You gotta stop that or you'll get jumped.
I don't know what's going to happen, Alan.
They're going to be like, I will find you.
I know, right? I know.
Hey, speaking
Yeah,
of that,
Mason, is that you?
Small fee, I'll tell you where they live.
Right.
great. Thanks, Al. All right, but
Big
tonight
enough
we were
fee,
talking
I'll drive you there.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Invite him again. Yeah.
Hold on. He's going to be deleted from Earth in a minute.
Right. Didn't we kick you out before, Alan?
You have.
The
It wouldn't be the first, and it probably won't be the last.
So, Alan, what questions did you have from tonight's show?
I don't have any questions.
Did you you heard the whole show though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's amazing that he listened to the whole show.
Usually I don't get off work till 8 o'clock, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool. Did you get to listen, Cairo?
I got to listen part of the way. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think Lee needs to turn you up a little bit because you're kind of...
Yeah, my microphone's like way down here.
Okay.
Okay. Ray, did you get the chance to listen?
No, I'm trying to find a place to live. So I'm I'm actually talking to you from Perkins at the moment. So I've been a little busy today, but I'll try to catch up
Okay.
as soon as I
I
can.
saw that, Ray. Holy mackerel.
Good. And you're in Colorado too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. At least until I find someplace else to go. I'm not really sure where that's going to be, but I'm trying to stay here because my son's got one more year of high school left, and I'd hate to do that to him. So, trying to get him through his last year.
Understood.
Wow.
Well, we're sending all of our energy to you to make things happen.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm just trying to keep smiling and just keep hoping for the universe to open up something for me. So that's all I can do.
Tonight we were talking about pain and past hurts and things, and how once you've dealt with it, how you not let it back.
Yeah, how you just continue
Yeah.
to stay in harmony, as it were. And Eileen and Trevor and Sandra and Alan, you guys said some phenomenal stuff as far as ways that you make that happen. And you also talked about how you can fall back into it. And we appreciate you guys being on the show. We appreciate definitely. I'm sure everybody picked up a little bit of something from each one of us.
My mom had said to me this weekend, "Do you remember when you were 9 and you took that 50 cents out of my purse and went to the store and bought candy with it, and I was saving it for a bottle of Pepsi?"
You have to buy a bottle of Pepsi?
I said,
Right.
"No,
Right, a bottle of Pepsi.
I don't remember that. I just don't." But apparently it pissed her off so much that she's still hanging on to it in 2014.
Wow.
I had to tell her
I can
to let
relate to that.
I'm
I
just,
can definitely relate to that.
I had to get all the way real with her and say, "You're going to have to let that go. I mean, I'll give you your 50 cents back, but you're seriously just going to have to let that go because that's insane. You've just carried that around. I mean, I'll pay her back with interest if she wants me to."
Your first indication is 50 cents and bottle.
Right. Right.
If she would have said something to me, I would have went out. I'm sure I got 50 pennies somewhere in the ashtray in my car. I would have made it up. I mean, I was sitting here.
I was just in awe that she had even said it to me, really in awe, that she'd said it to me because it was such a long time ago. And when she brought out the details, I remember the details. I remember the aftermath of the 50 cents. She explained to me what had happened when I got home, and I happened to remember that. But the fact that she was holding on to that really surprised me, and I thought, man, you're just going to have to let that go, buddy.
Hey, you know what, Sherry? I think back to jail with you.
Really?
I think you just busted your flow, girl.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Alan. You really did. I was just thinking this.
God.
I have post-traumatic stress disorder, Alan.
God.
Oh, shit.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
They're going to have to lock me up and throw away the key on that one right there.
I think I'd just execute you. I mean,
Sherry, that's a federal offense. There's no way out of that. There really isn't.
It is, and it was from my mother, so that should be a federal offense. I mean, it is a federal offense. It's 2014.
But I guess the point you're really trying to make here is that was 1974, 5, 6, somewhere in there.
8.
8,
I
78.
said I was 8.
1970.
8 or 9.
Yeah, it was okay. So 78, and here it is, 2014, and see if we look at how realistic that is when it comes to living everyday life. How skewed will her mother be if she leaves the room and the purse is in there, right? She's going to think, I'm going to miss 50 cents for a Pepsi.
yeah, she'll never be sure like that again, ever. Yeah, ever.
That's how time steals your truth.
No
That's
wonder
how
she
time
let me
steals-
use. Didn't she? No wonder she never let me use her credit card.
There it is. Don't know what the hell she
Sherry's
said.
criminal behavior started at an early age.
I knew when this thing was going on.
People hold on to stuff. I don't get it.
But what's funny is the stuff that we hold on to imprisons us all.
True.
It imprisons us all. We all get stuck in a mind process or thought process, and now we're the inmate and the warden.
It's amazing how people hold on to stuff. A lot of times people hold on to things. I had a very good friend of mine. Here it goes. But I had a very good friend of mine. We were friends in elementary school, and he was a wonderful guy. Wonderful kid. Just a great kid. I must have been in 3rd grade. Just in, when was it, 2010 or 2009 or something? I find the guy on Facebook. He said, "Oh my God, Sherry, I haven't talked to you in years. Please call me. I've got something to say." I call the guy up, and he has a confession. And I'm like, "Oh God, what happened? What could have been?" Apparently, he had stolen $1 out of my coat in the coat room at school, my lunch money. And he had held on to it all these years. And apologized to me over that $1. I still razz him over that $1 today. I ought to charge him interest and pay my mom back. I'm going to send this to you, John. Oh my God.
Does that mean there's no statute of
Good.
limitations on this? Like there's no statute of limitations on
There's a
student loans?
statute of limitations on this book.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure.
I don't-
Naniri, hello.
Hello, Lee. Hey, Sherry. How you guys doing?
Good.
Wonderful. How
Everybody
are you?
say hello.
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 Sorry, I'm a little, I don't know, trying to figure this out with the whole thing because I've only done Hangouts I think one other time.
Oh, well, welcome. This is a twin flame discussion. We're talking. Did you get to listen to the radio show tonight?
Actually, no, I didn't because I was dealing with something
related
to what you're talking about with pain and how it comes back up, and yeah, I just got slapped in the face with it.
And I had started to watch, and then my twin started texting me, so I was pretty happy.
Yeah.
What's going on, Aniri? Will you explain it to us? Could you share?
Yeah, I'm done. How's that?
Okay.
It just we couldn't even go 24 hours without the pain kicking back in and him running and pulling crap, and he stabbed me in the back and broke whatever little trust that I was starting to develop with him again, and I'm just done. That's kind of just where I'm at. Basically what happened in a nutshell is that we started to reconnect, and we went through a whole thing, as I wrote to you, Lee, about we started relating in a whole new way, like what happened between you and Sherry. And I thought, this is great. Wow, it was just awe-inspiring. And then I shared with him in intimacy and vulnerability a vision that I had, because it was related to a song that he wrote and sent me yesterday. And he took that vision and went and did it with somebody else. I met back, and then let me know about it afterwards. And yeah, so he took whatever little bit of trust that was starting to develop, and I said, I can't do this. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm angry right now. Yes, I do have a right to be angry, and I'm angry, and yeah, it sucks. So don't, just dealing with it for the last 6 years. I'm done.
I believe for when Sherry and I were going through it, I think there were many times that we were done because we didn't understand what was so infected in us that kept causing us to hurt each other.
I think you're right, because I don't think he realizes what.
Yeah, and I think Sherry would tell you, when she would look at me, she didn't know if I even had a clue or if I was even awake or even understood what it was. But, as you start to make a mess, you have to make a bigger mess before you can realize that you got to go back and go, man, I created a big mess. And if that mess caused her to run away, then it caused her to run away. And when she was gone, I was left cleaning up the mess for myself. I had to have time. I couldn't clean up a mess if she was still trying to stand in it.
That's kind of how I feel right now. It's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, at least you're reaching the point where the anger and the anger is there because of the powerlessness of not being able to get him to go, man, why do I keep doing this?
Yeah.
What is in me that's doing this to you? He needs to see that for himself. Regardless of you, aside from you, once he realizes he's lost you completely, will he ever come away?
That's the thing. And, I messaged this mutual friend of ours that he did this with and just said, look, I need to let you know this. I need to express my anger. I need to, share with you, what he did, because I'm sure it's unbeknownst to you, but this is what's happened. Because, he's in very much denial in that. And it's not pointing fingers. It's not judgment. It's not conditions. It's none of that. It's just what is, right? And yeah, exactly what you were saying. I hear you, and I feel like I can't completely move forward in certain ways because of it. He's still standing in that mess, and I'm still left here going, yeah, okay.
Understood completely. When you're standing in the mess, though, you're going to need to really realize that what you need to let go of is what you need to embrace the most, which is yourself. If he's not going to do it.
No.
And he can't do it until you do. And you need to let him realize that he needs to feel that way in himself as well. And I know that it sounds like it's a mess, but sometimes you have to let the mess become beautiful first.
It's interesting because underlying all this, and maybe this could be the topic to branch out further to what you were talking about in the pain. Something that came to me just a little while ago as I'm channeling through this book, this new book that I'm working on. It has to do with what the underlying core issue of all of this really is, and what the pain is all about, and it's about shame. There's a sense of shame that we've had indoctrinated into us for so long, and I'm going to do a video on it actually because I watched this happen today actually with someone who I'm living with right now. He's going through some stuff, and he was making a point of saying, well, how he shouldn't feel this way, or he's trying not to feel a certain way. And it wasn't until I gave him permission and in essence and said, look, it's okay for you to feel what you feel. If you're feeling upset, if you're feeling hurt, if you're feeling sad, it's okay. Then he was able to actually release into it. And I think there's a lot of shame that's built around and guilt, because we've all been in some form or fashion indoctrinated into it, of being told that we're wrong for what we feel, or it's bad, or it's not okay. We are not okay as we are in this moment of feeling whatever it is that we're feeling, right? And I think that's an underlying thing. So I don't know. I figured I'd bring that in and ask you guys what y'all thought about that.
I just did the same thing actually. When I had that feeling to write a letter to my twin and explain everything and tell her everything and share everything, I was in pain. What's going on?
We can hear you.
I was going to say, I can hear you.
We were laughing at your hat.
Keep going, Cairo.
I thought we were still listening to something. I'm like, wait, there's a lag. Okay. But I actually was in a lot of pain, and I felt myself just kind of fall away from everything, and I felt like giving up. And I was going to say, like, all right, well, I guess that it was just my imagination. But when I really thought about it, what I figured out that it really was that during the separation, it's best to grow after you separate your path entirely. You can detach from that path, but you're going to come back to that path eventually. But when I finally did tell my twin at least a semblance of how I felt better instantly. I texted her, I told her, like, this is how I feel. You take, do whatever you want with the information. I don't care. But I'm not going to just hide this away. This is how I feel. Take it or leave it. Have a good day. And I felt so much better, and it felt like it's actually something that she needed to hear. And my solar plexus actually did light back up. It felt warm again.
Eileen?
The thought that's coming to my mind is half-truths, truths, and what's behind any pain that we have, or if we're not able to talk about that pain. So it's almost like, what are we hiding from? What's painful about not going through that pain? Facing the truth, looking at the self. So whatever disharmony that's occurring, there's something that's not matching. So think about where there's a mismatch and where's it coming from, and how can you either raise something up or bring something down, but at least you want to be matching. So if you're matching down here, then you work together to rise up. If one can come up to match, then you just move up. Really, it's a lot of it has to do with truth. Where's the truth inside whatever's causing the pain in that discourse? And stepping into that truth and being honest with the self and facing whatever that is allows the pain to just go away. Because if we're lying to ourselves or we're holding on to something, as Sherry said earlier, you know, that person, was it your mom, Sherry?
My mom.
Yeah, so her mom held on to something that happened 30, 40 years ago, a long time. So she's carrying that around for what? I mean, you know, it doesn't do us any good to hold on to that stuff. And
I love you, Eileen. Thank you. You said it. That's exactly what I've been saying to him all this time. That's part of the truth that he's afraid to face, because it's like he constantly holds on to it and he uses it against me, kind of like what Sherry's mom was doing, right? But she wasn't doing it belligerently. He's doing it belligerently. He's doing it, you know, and this is the ways he doesn't love himself. And again, you know, no finger pointing or whatever. It's just stating what is. It's just, you know, this is what he does in a way of not loving himself, not loving me, not loving, you know, all that is really, is by going and doing just that, holding on to all this shit. And this is what happened. This was his response when I had gotten angry and said, you know, that basically you took whatever trust that I had and trampled all over it. And, you know, he was just like, well, I told you, you know, we can't do any projects together. And, you know, this is what it has to do with it. He started to bring up all the crap again, right? So he holds on to it. And yeah, what is that truth? He will not step into the truth beyond that. It's just he keeps repeating that cycle. And so thank you for saying that. You're so right on. I love you.
Something you could try. Have you ever asked him point blank, do you love yourself?
Oh, yeah. We've had that discussion many times over. And of course, what he does is he responds in ego. Oh, yes, I love myself, and I'm this and whatever. It's an egoic response. It's not, you know, coming really from the heart base, right? You know,
sometimes it's hard for people to reconcile the difference between a narcissistic love and true unconditional love for self. There's some people just don't understand the difference between the two, or haven't reached the point to be able to understand the difference between the two.
I fully agree with you, and that's where it's coming from. It's coming from that egoic perspective. I mean, for me, and that's why when all this came up, and Lee, you and I, you know, talked about this whole other layer of my father, I took a look at that from another perspective, and I was like, okay, really? Was that really what was going on? And then I flipped it around and realized, you know what, those were parts that I wasn't loving myself, but truly, I love myself. Bumps, bruises, and all. And it comes from that heart-centered base. You know, I'm not like the, oh, I love myself, you know, kind of thing. I was just talking to the gentleman who lives here about this today, you know, doing a heart-based, heart-centered mirror meditation, which I do every morning. You know, every morning I wake up before my feet even hit the floor. I'm in gratitude. I'm thanking, you know, Source for the next day. And I did this even when I was in the jail. See, Sherry and I share, for those of you guys who don't know, we share some parallels here. The only difference is that, no offense, Sherry, and I know you won't take it this way, but you literally did something illegal. Me, I was illegally imprisoned for 2 months. And so even when I was in that jail.
I did it. I did it.
Exactly. Right? So you know, for me, it was like every morning, even in that jail, we had the, you know, Sherry, I'm sure, the fake mirror. You know, it's not the real mirror thing.
Plastic mirror.
Yeah, exactly. So I would still get up. I would go do my, you know, mirror gazing meditation of absolutely loving myself, right? So I mean, you know, 15 years ago and whatever, I could totally say I hated myself, totally. But, you know, I'm totally in that place of, you know, loving myself, and it's coming from that heart-centered resonance. And so, yeah, thank you for asking that, because, yeah, he and I have had that conversation many times, and it's always come back with that, and he doesn't know the difference.
Then, Mary, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
When we truly love ourselves, I reached a spot where I knew that what I loved about Sherry and how deeply I loved Sherry, I reached a point where I realized that I wasn't showing her how much I loved her because I didn't walk away from her.
Yeah.
And when I finally reached the point where I realized that I loved her enough to let her go completely without looking back, without even thinking about it, without telling anybody about it, and just realized that I was completely done, I think that's when she felt how much I loved her the most. It wasn't a conversation anymore. I just did what I was supposed to do. Thing is I kept wanting to recite or relive the past, and I kept complaining that the past and all of those things were the things that made me love her. But they weren't. We had been through too much shit to actually endure that. So what I had to really, really realize is if I'm telling her I love her, and I'm telling myself I love myself, then why am I putting up with her shit?
Exactly.
So am I really choosing to really kind of put conditions on this by staying? Or should I just become unconditional and let her go? And I let her go, and I let the story about what happened to us go at the same time. That's what made it so beautiful about when we came back together.
And we're that way too. I mean, Sandy did the same thing. When we were communicating back and forth, there was a time when I had so much stuff going on in my head. I told her I needed room. You gotta let me go and let me think about what's going on. And she did. And she literally stayed a friend. I mean, you know, she wasn't pushy about it, but yeah, you have to do that. And she gave me the room I needed.
I hear you. I guess I'm to the point where I can't even do the friends thing, especially with what just happened now.
Well, then here's what you want to do then. The most important thing to do then, if you know that you've reached the point of no return, let go of the story.
Yeah.
Let go of even talking about it. Just go. And that way you're showing yourself, you know what? I'm healing in this moment from now and always now, because that's all you ever have. Let go.
Exactly.
You'll feel that. He's going to go, what the hell did I just do? Because right now he knows if he gets you mad, you're still connected.
Yeah.
The moment you just, okay. See ya.
Flip that switch, girl.
Yeah, well, see, I did. I did. I flipped that switch, and then yesterday it unflipped because of the events that happened, and I thought, okay, you know, we've reached that point, but yeah, no.
Yeah, well, again, you witnessed a small change, but if you want him to change all the way, you've got to keep walking until you, don't worry, the energy catches up to you when he, until if he's given him some, he can show you a glimpse of being right. Believe me, I fell for it.
Yeah, see, that's what I fell for, you know. That's what I fell for. I fell for that glimpse, and you know.
What was interesting about what happened with us, though, is she stayed away from me, knowing, even though I kept trying to tell her, yeah, be with me, be with me, be with me. She knew that I was shit. She knew that I was still in shit.
Yeah.
She didn't step into it. Here I am coming into her because now I'm completely aware, because I had to go in and give myself unconditional whatever and revamp and just get rid of the mind and not have a thought process like that anymore. But I couldn't, at this point, I couldn't see it. I was so connected, I just knew that I wanted to stay connected. But the more I kept trying to come in, the more she wanted to sabotage it.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's exactly, and God, I'm so glad you used that word, because he wrote me a letter 6 years ago, almost to the day, saying that he is the grand saboteur. So
the sabotage effect is not really about you at all.
No.
The sad part is that it's about his misery, his pain, his non-acceptance, his unforgiveness of himself. And you're going to stand there and endure it with him. He knows you love him. He can't doubt that. But he doesn't have enough love in himself to realize that you love him that much. And until you step away, will he really see it? And nobody else is going to get it to him.
No.
So you're not missing out by what. He's not going to find it from somebody else. It's just not going to happen. You've endured already.
Oh, yeah.
And he's endured. Don't think that doesn't, if you stand away, it's like, you know, you watch a car dropping from the sky, and you know it's a 4,000-pound car, and you step out of the way for it to fall on. That needs to happen.
Yeah. And I know you're right about the whole. I agree with you about the whole enduring things, because during the whole time that I was in the jail, I didn't know this obviously because I had no contact with the outside world really, and you know this, Sherry. I mean, I didn't even have phone calls with him, but when I got out and I was able to see the effects of what he went through while I was in there. He didn't do any gigs. I think he did one gig the whole entire time. There were pictures of him. The life was gone out of him. He didn't do any writing of his songs. There was, you know, little or no stuff on Facebook, you know. I mean, he really, you know, and when he did, it was all trying to pump himself up and, you know, make himself feel better kind of stuff. So there wasn't, I mean, he endured. He suffered in pain too, just as much as I was. And so I know, and it's even doubly worse because, see, I have the added dynamic of this with, for you, Sherry, I mean, obviously you were the one who caused it. He was the one who actually caused me to be in that jail, his actions. And so it's even more pain that he's enduring, and I know that. Of course, you know, you ask him and he's just fine, right? Everything's all hunky-dory, but we all know better. So yeah, I totally agree with you, you know, and that's why I said I'm done. I said I'm done, and I have to fully, you know, walk away. I mean, while we're on this right now, he texted me back, and I'm not responding to him.
You know, interesting enough, what you said about while you were away, like you were, that he stopped writing and stopped showing any kind of inspiration. And what basically what he did, and I don't know if this will help you any, but his masculine mind shut down the feminine. Yeah. And when you shut down the feminine mind, your creativity goes with that too, because the feminine mind is the part of you that creates the music, the words, those things that are so inspiring, and brings it back. It says, "Here, I made this for you." When you shut the feminine down, you get zipped.
Exactly. Yeah, you're spot on. You're totally, and I totally know that, and that's exactly what's happened. Yeah.
You know what?
And I only opened the creativity up because. Sorry, Sherry. I only opened the creativity up because I returned, and the creativity is being open, you know, in waves when we've been interacting, and I know it's now going to shut down. I know that too.
You've watched our videos, so you know that standing in my truth and being really honest, the thing that actually made it to where I had it in me to stand in my truth and to get my shit together and to stop hiding and to stop lying was being done, and not being done for the 50th time, but letting me go. Yeah. He had, and it wasn't him saying, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. It was the physical, I felt him let me go. I felt him not wondering if I'm online, not wondering if I'm going to text, not wondering if I'm going to call. I felt him let me go, be done. I felt him. He wasn't saying the words, he was just done. I felt it. Yeah. And that's what it was that made me really go. I knew I'd lost him, so I wasn't doing it for him. I was doing it for me.
Yeah.
I need to get my shit together, because now look what I've done. The person who loves me unconditionally, I've really screwed over quite a few times.
Yeah.
And he has stuck with me through it over and over and over again. And I keep screwing him over. And there was no justification, you know, there just wasn't. And he kept standing by me. He didn't change for me when he was going through his change, when he had let go of everything he was doing in his past and womanizing and acting a fool. He didn't change that to be with me. He changed that to be with himself. And I didn't change to be with Lee. I had already lost Lee. He was gone. He had already let me go. I had to wake up because I had already screwed up so much. And he could see it in me that I was awake, finally awake. Then I went to prison.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I did that already, and again, wasn't, no blame here, but it was, as the result of his actions, and I totally hear you, and I am not at that point. And I was just telling the gentleman who lives here too, it's how I felt when I knew things were over with my ex-husband. It was done. It was just done. I knew there was nothing. So that's how I feel right now. I do. And I just don't. I know that's the only way for him to be able to see, because you're right. He isn't going to see. He started to see it because, other than a few letters that I actually wrote to him, he never wrote back. But we really had no contact while I was in the jail.
Well,
and
one thing that Sherry and I are saying, in the depth of what we're saying, is we gave up hope on each other.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I completely, I do. I feel that's exactly how I feel. I feel like there is no hope.
Hope is a thought process that says that maybe they will, maybe they won't. Let that go.
Yeah.
Because the only way he's going to be able to get back in that door is he will.
Yeah.
He ain't getting back in if you think. Gotta let go.
I don't, and here's the reason why, and I'll just say it very straight out, truthfully. For him, I mean, you owned up to your shit, yeah, Sherry, but for him to own up to his shit, it means a whole lot more than it did for you. He's got to own up to years of telling our mutual friends lies about me, that, he's not in love with me, that we're not in a relationship, that, I supposedly stalked him. I mean, these are the kind of things that he did, and he's continued to do for 6 years. And obviously, I mean, there's such ample proof that obviously I'm not stalking him. I mean, it's like, absolutely ludicrous, right? But he would have to own up to his family and to our mutual friends and to everyone in our town, hometown and whatever, that this is what he's doing. And frankly, at this point, I don't think he has it in him to do it. I really don't.
That's the hope I'm talking about. Give that up, because he won't do it for himself. If he has to do it for everybody else first, he's not even doing it for himself.
No, he won't. And that's the thing. I don't even feel that sense of hope that he'll even do it for himself, honestly.
Right. Well, that's where it's got to start.
Yeah.
So once you realize that you're waiting for him to do it with all these other people, he's not even doing it for himself, and he's not going to until you're gone.
Yeah.
When you're gone, when you're completely gone, you're completely done. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. You're not going to be there for him. You just need to go. That's true love. Sorry. But his heart's not going to stop because you're gone. And neither is yours.
That's the hardest
You're
part.
still going to be connected.
You're still going to be connected.
You're still going to be connected.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part. Because part of me right now, the way I feel, doesn't want that.
Well, it's completely understandable. It's completely understandable. It's a painful thing to separate in that way.
But it could also be him that's feeling it. You have to determine which emotions are actually yours and which ones aren't. And that's how you know that it's
Yeah, I
just
know. That's always hard, too. Because a lot of times I feel stuff that
when you use the switch, when you're gone and you use the switch, you just go and you let go of hope and you let go of everything. They have sleepless nights, not you.
Yeah.
And my twin does have sleepless nights sometimes.
Oh yeah, and I know he does. He was up. He was up till 3 a.m. last night.
I scared my twin by saying, like, I told her, you don't sleep very well anymore. I can feel it. I know it. And she's just like, I felt her just.
Like, oh shit.
Oh no.
Right.
It's really hard to take you seriously with those ears. It just is. I'm just waiting for you to break into song. M-I-C-K-E-Y. What? You know,
we like you.
I've been banned from saying the F word.
You keep singing, and you're gonna have a sleepless night.
Oh, come on, he's not that bad.
Oh.
Not that kind of sleepless night, you freak. This is a family show.
Why do I feel like this is an episode of Modern Family?
I don't know. I don't watch TV, so sorry, guys.
I don't know. It'd be more like an episode of Abnormal Family, wouldn't it be?
That's the job I can grant.
Yeah, there we go.
Here.
But it is. It's true though. You have to be able to click that switch. You have to be able to determine difference of emotions, because when I told her that, I could feel her looking around like, where are you? And then I told her a few other things too, and she was just kind of like, she told me, actually, here's what happened. She told me that her job was just about to throw away some old speakers for headphones, and the headphones didn't have the headpiece. And I was like, oh, that's cool, you can, do this or do that, or sew them into this, or make something like this. And she was like, that's actually what I was thinking, get out of my head. And then she was the one who revisited the memory of me and her standing out front of my house saying, it's a UFO. And I'm like, oh, you think about it too lately. So, things are happening, things are crazy, and we're not sure anymore which emotions are ours and which ones aren't. Like, when I told her and I stood in my truth and I told her and bore everything, that feeling of sadness, depression, feeling of pain and fear, it went away.
Makes total sense.
So even if you tell him what's going on and you just flare, like, just, here it is, here's how I feel, I don't care what you do with it anymore, I really don't, because as you said, you're done, so here's how I feel, have a good day, sir, I'm out.
Yeah.
And then just pretty much see what he does, and that at that point the ball is in his court, and you can just go home and you can breathe, and you're like, oh God, now I can take a bath, and now I need to go back to the store and get a wine glass holder for my bathtub. Whatever works, Just break free of that.
Yes, he is.
Huh?
Alan Goforth is texting.
He's getting too much information.
Texting while Google Hangouting. It's against the law.
and petting his shirt. It looks like he could be fuzzy. Like, please don't eat me. Please no eat me. Don't eat me. That kitty shirt.
No more Mickey Mouse.
That was horrible. What?
Shirt is beautiful, Trev.
Yeah.
We're all gonna got my tiger shirts now.
Yes. Sherry keeps singing "I the Tiger" on the SMS. She's got the words down.
I'm waiting for the damn thing to blink.
Okay, and where's the disco ball?
Oh my God.
I love your shirt, Trevor. I don't care what nobody says.
Just like it from 1972. We just had this discussion. Three sizes too small. He tried to wear it 2 months ago, and I told him to take it off. It had black sheer sleeves, and it was silk, and it had this big tiger on the front of it. I said, oh, no, that's got to go. That's got to go. They wore that in Saturday Night Live.
Let me guess, you're a tiger.
Oh, it was
Halloween.
That at least is a T-shirt. That.
You say right?
I've decided, screw it, from now on, I'm going to go buy a shirt with Simba on the front because that would make her happy.
Actually, you look like Simba.
I really kind of do.
Honestly, you do. You look like Simba.
Thank you.
You're
On
welcome.
the live cam, you keep that in mind there, Alan and
Okay. See, you have Mike. I have Ruby. Everyone say, hello, Ruby.
Hi, Ruby. Hi, Vonda.
She's the one who lives here, yes. So she's wanting out, so I will be back momentarily.
Hi, everyone.
You
Vonda.
I know I'm coming in at the very end. I've been having so much trouble with this damn computer of mine. I want to throw it out a window somewhere.
Ah, the
Don't do
Commodore
that.
64 like Alan and Sandra.
Oh, here we
No,
go. Really?
We talked about it before you
Trevor
got in.
started it.
Trevor
started it before you came into the room.
His damn shirt's staring at us.
I just wanted to check in and let you all know I'm still alive.
Okay.
And that I
Miss you.
miss you all too. How do you pronounce her name? Nanarni?
Nanari.
Nanari. I love that.
Thank you.
I love your page as well, your channel.
Thank you.
I lost my train of thought, but
It's okay, it'll come back. They usually up and leave, and then they come back.
What it was is I have let go, like I'm done. So I'm moving on. I feel good about where my life is heading, and I feel like I'm moving about in a powerful, wonderful way. But the thing is, I don't want to feel, and I can feel within me his energy, and I don't, like you said, I don't want to feel that.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm so over this. I don't want to feel anything that has to do with that at all.
Can I ask you guys a question? Can I ask you guys a question, both of you, since you both feel this way right now?
Yeah.
This is kind of important, and I really want you to kind of close your eyes and feel this for a minute.
I don't want to feel.
What's my feeling?
Hold on.
I want to make sure.
We're done doing,
I
Lee.
want to make sure that we're all on the same page here.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I want you to feel this question. Let's feel this. Your entire existence, you've been disconnected, and now that you can feel a connection, you're not using the power of it to move free, to be happy, to feel connected. Are you sure you got it right? Doesn't mean you have to be in communication, but you know what you're feeling and existing through is real. So why don't you celebrate it and celebrate you for enabling yourself to feel it?
I am being very selfish in my celebration. I am celebrating me.
Good. But celebrate it and don't worry about the other feelings. The other feelings they are.
Oh, they just annoy me, Lee. I don't want to feel that.
Okay, here's where you're annoyed. You're annoyed with the thought process of the feeling.
Okay.
What is the thought process?
Okay.
The thought process isn't something you need to keep.
Right. Okay, I'm working on that, absolutely.
Well, put it this way, and I get what you're saying too, because it's something, the way that Source has given it to me is, anything you do not love, you will repeat again and again until you come to a place of love with it and within it.
Amen.
So basically, it's embracing it. Yeah, it's embracing it and it's loving it, and I'm okay with that. I celebrate me all the time. And I can understand where you're coming from in the sense of you don't want to feel it. And the reason I said I don't want to feel it is because there's a mixture of the pain that's involved in there, except it's, when you feel the pain and embrace the pain, then you can actually love it, and then it dissipates a lot quicker. And the way I've been given it also, from sources that, and I don't know if you guys all know Ron, but Ron Van Dyke, he does videos, and the video he did last night really hit home for me, but kind of takes this switch that I'm activating, and you too, in flipping it around, which is, he was saying that the opposite of love many times we think is hate, when actually it really isn't, because hate means you still care, means you still give a shit, right? If I can say that, oops. so the opposite actually of love. Yeah, I know, bleep that out.
It goes right up to
the opposite of love is actually...
There's actually a few of those, but I've actually noticed...
It's actually indifference or, apathy, and that's actually, when you utilize it in the context of not feeling, it can actually make things worse. In the sense of, okay, if you're not feeling, then you're not embracing it. And so then the way that Source has given it to me is feel it full out, just like a child, A child has a tantrum, they feel it full out, they get angry, they get pissed off, they get, whatever, and then 5 minutes later they're back happy playing and, being in the love. The key is not to stay immersed in it.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I feel I've got to do is each time I feel that pain and being connected with him that way, or for you it's annoyance.
It is. I just want to get back to me and, fully, completely, and whole. Like, it just feels a little bit, I don't want to call it difficult, but it's just there. And it's like it's not ever going to go anywhere. But like Lee said, I have to take away the thoughts of that and just allow it to just be what it is.
I've actually
And everybody, I want you to hear this really, really quick because I think this is vital to what we really want you to understand about pain. You came through a tunnel to get here, enduring pain. You came out screaming, and somebody embraced you. How long did it last? That's the truth about pain. You birth through things. If you don't go into the pain, you can't birth anything. If you keep the pain and save it for later, you're suffering.
Which is what he's doing.
But
this is what we all do. We learn to do it. We learn to do it from that point on. We create a thought process that keeps us enduring pain. But we never see the truth about pain. Pain is love. It always has been. Unconditional love is inside of pain. We just have now made a thought process behind it and put conditions on it. Remove the conditions. Stop the thought process. You're left with the truth.
I have to sit with that for a while.
Don't worry.
But I can tell you.
You can rewatch it over and over again.
Absolutely.
But I can tell you, though, I've noticed this in several other twins. I really have noticed this in several other twins. And what I'm noticing is that it's kind of like a turning of the tables. It's pretty much the same concept as walk a mile in my shoes. Because me and my twin have switched energies together. A lot of other twins that I've seen, I've noticed that they've also switched energies together. And it's also part of the synchronicities. And it all lines up. So even though everybody's struggling with it, it's really what it is this is what I was dealing with. And now you are also giving your twin what you were dealing with. So then you can both learn through it. And you can both feel through it. You can muddle through it and understand, and then it's pain, and then it's rebirth. As
Preach, Mickey, preach.
Well, let it rebirth already, goddammit, so we can both move on and move forward.
No kidding, Yvonne.
Well, rebirth, open up, let it go, release, surrender, do whatever the hell you need to do because I don't want to deal with this no more. Like, I'm done, I'm good.
I actually did a tarot reading and then I went to sleep after it and I realized that what the cards that I pulled mean were not an individual reading, they were for all of us. There is death at the end of this chaos, and death means rebirth. It means a chance to relive. It means a chance to come back to life.
Well, we need to get back onto life because I'm ready to live.
Hey now, you're lucky I didn't draw one more card because the next card after death was going to be the Tower. Huh. That wasn't going to be fun.
Thank you guys all for joining us. We are out of time.
No!
Can we continue this longer?
Alan's putting on his head.
I don't know what Alan's putting on his head.
Okay, I was just going to say, what's he going on his head?
Mickey Mouse.
What a brawl!
My God, that's a massive draw.
Gary, I love you.
I smile all the time.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Gary,
Let's get a pirate hat.
Terry, I love your tan. You look beautiful.
I love it.
Thank you.
This was from Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you
I got a better pirate hat.
Now this is my pimp pirate hat. It even has like a little earring.
No, I'm not. Thank you all for being here tonight.
I can't
we really
get
do
him over
appreciate it.
There you go. No, you got it. You got it, Sherry. You got it. There you go.
We will be back again in 2 weeks.
You're awesome, Ree. You're awesome, Sherry. Love you both. Love you, Alan, Eileen, all of you guys. Love you.
Love
Oh,
you
we
all.
love you too.
I gotta go rewind now and watch again.
Yes, that
Watch
message
it
there at the
again,
end is
and
on
again,
purpose.
and again, and again. Oh, that one's good. I like that one, Lee. The hearts. That was good. No, but honestly, I think, Alan, you got it the best. That one was the best. Hands down. That was the best.
There we go. We could do Simba. Oh, no, that's your Simba.
I may or may not see you in 2 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, we can't do it. Anyway,
We don't know how to.
thank you
There it
guys
is.
very much. We
There
do
you go.
appreciate you.
Now you got it.
And we will find you all very, very, very soon. You guys want to, Trevor, Eileen, you want to tell them where you can find you?
You can find us on Facebook, Twin Flames, Ordinary to Extraordinary Life, I Need to Vent, and my website, www.eileenbuild.com.
Nanira, you want to say where you're from?
Absolutely. You can reach me on diamondlady.net is my website. Our Twin Soul website is nottonanari.net. I'm on Facebook too, and Twitter and LinkedIn, and all those things, and all the connections for that are on my website. So there you go.
Of course, the wonderful and talented Alan and Sandra.
I am going to turn it over to Sandra since I already wore the flower on my head.
Sherry, save me! You can find us.
She can't even stop laughing.
There's no
Flame Divine Fire on Facebook.
Yay!
We're Lee and Sherry.
With Relationship Reinvented.
And you can find us at relationshipreinvented.com.
You can find out where the bra on his head at any time.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Sandra's here all night.
Yeah, Sandra will be here all night.
Thank you very much, Cairo.
Yes, Cairo, thank you. Frey, we're going to hopefully find you on Facebook. Like I said, message us because people have been looking for you.
Yep.
Vonda, you know how to find us. You're always in there, and thank you for all your input and your input. Alan, thank you for joining us this evening. And Sen, we'll see you here now, I guess.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.